Happy New Year to everyone. It is the 2nd. I hope we all wrote down some New Year's resolutions. I actually am focusing on this year on strength. I definitely lack the ability to voice my opinion with things. I tend to let others encounter and experience their own journey without really voicing my side, and it's grown throughout the last year. But this year, I'm really going to focus on internal strength. And the kind of funny thing is that I went to Trader Joe's a little bit ago. And there's always this guy that I always say hello to shortly, really friendly, and he goes, "Have you written any goals down for the new year?" I'm like, I don't really have any. I'm just gonna power through school and really focus on internal things. And he goes, a lot of people focus on external things. They're always doing things outside of themselves. And I thought, bing, this is our way of functioning and our way of thinking that that what we do externally gives us some sort of power, which it does, but the internal strength that we have within is really going to make everything more powerful. And today's video is just going to be a little bit improv. I had an interesting experience earlier today, and I just want to remind everyone that don't let anyone bring you down. If there's no logical reasoning behind why another person is feeling the way they are, if they just throw out reasons why they feel a certain way without any backing or any reasoning why, it's just a way of them projecting their insecurities on you. And there's no legit reason why an individual feels that way. And I find that a lot of people have a difficult time, of course, expressing how they feel. So when you try to pinpoint it in them, or why is it making you feel this way, they have a really difficult time connecting why they feel that way. It's definitely something that's happened to them in the past, maybe in a past relationship, and that's something that's always carried over, but they really can't explain why it makes them feel that way. So the thing with this trend with the awakened and the conscious individuals, I mean, I don't want to say that I'm awakened or more aware than anyone else. I mean, it's just a different level of functioning, and in a way, categorizing these individuals as awakened, for me, it just seems like it's a pedestal thing, but it's really not that. It's just being more sensitive and aware to our surroundings. And the interesting thing that the way that I can describe being awakened or consciously aware is, what if every time you approached a person or a situation, you started with a clean slate? As if you were a child, in a way. As if you were touching the sand for the first time, riding a wave for the first time, in pure flow mode. What if you encountered people and experiences like that with no judgment, no predisposed ideas, nothing? The fault with our thinking, well, past behaviors help us function now. If I didn't know how to feed myself, for example, or brush my teeth, I would starve. My teeth would fall out. These past behaviors are useful. This is why we have a log in our brain, because it's for survival. But when we have these sort of past behaviors that are bringing judgments and negative attributes into our current relationships, current events, or situations, this is where it becomes debilitating for us. And in the long run, we're only debilitating ourselves. And we are not opening up ourselves to love, to new people, to new experiences. And oftentimes, everything is externalized. I'm going to go to a party because I want to have fun. I want to have fun. But if we carry, this is kind of silly, but if we carry this fun, carefree ability within us, wherever we go, we're going to have fun. This is where we go inward into ourselves and really realize that whatever's happening external is within our control. I mean, it is and it isn't. Does that make sense? So it is because we have the ability to feel a certain way, but coming from life as a completely clear slate, no judgments, not holding anyone accountable for anything. And this is where it gets difficult when being in a relationship with someone, because this is where buildup or resentment sets in. And if you have a partner that's really not aware and open to your thinking and open to your thoughts and kind of transferring their views and their feelings onto you, you know that this isn't a very good relationship. And there is a reason why you're voicing the way that you do, because there's something that's not settling with you. And the difference between an awakened individual or one that is completely running off their emotions is that they are fluid with each other. You need emotions to live. I think it's so beautiful. I think, in a sense, emotions are more beautiful than logic. Emotions make us, they create us, they help us fall in love, they give us motivation, they give us drive. They are these internal feelings that really push us. And sometimes our logic and our rationale doesn't make sense with what we do, right? Especially in relationships. Everyone's like, get out of that relationship, it's a bad one. But you're like, no, there's hope, or I see signs. And you just do all these things to rationalize your feelings. So when you have a friendship or an experience where someone is saying that maybe it's you, maybe it's how you feel, it's all projection. And if you have a legitimate standpoint and you are talking things through and a person is making you feel a certain way, it should definitely be considered. And this is where our egos come in, where we don't think that we're the problem. And for those that are very aware of their own selves and their emotions, wouldn't even be projecting projecting your insecurities back on yourself, if that makes sense. So if I have an issue with a friend, the friend that isn't opening their mind or their ears to listen to you and says, well, you do this, well, you do that, there's like this rebuttal effect. You say something, I'm going to say something more damaging, and nothing gets done in that aspect. Nothing gets fulfilled, only things break apart. And we find this a lot in our relationships and in our friendships. And for those that are a little more aware, we try to hope that our awareness will transfer out into others, but there definitely has to be a willingness, and it does take a lot of energy and work and a light bulb to switch off. And it does take time, and everything takes time, but eventually we get there. And the beautiful thing that I can really summarize with transcending your emotions or going above and beyond just the back and forth push and pull of your feelings and relationships is that it really allows you to start from scratch, going into a new experience, just not carrying those judgmental feelings, because we all have to understand that everyone has their way of coping and everyone has their way of expressing themselves and creating their journey. And we shouldn't be here to impede on anyone else's. We should allow others to let them be fully. And if you are in a relationship or a friendship that doesn't allow that, then it's time to get out. And so this video is basically talking about strength and what kind of strengths do you carry with you, what has been the hardest thing to actually dismiss in your life, and how did you go about that? What propelled you to do it? Okay, this will be the video for the day. A little bit short, but I always appreciate your comments, and let me know if you have questions. Happy New Year! Bye!